So Justin, these booths here that you see in these caddies, we're going to be using these in the 72nd Assembly District election. And I thought one of the things that would be good that we could talk about for people today is how the votes are stored on these booths and the redundancy in these booths themselves, and then how we're going to get the votes from the polling sites here to our warehouse to be able to count. So when we come out here, we have one of our voting booths open, and maybe you can just talk briefly about where the votes are stored on the system. And of course, we have them in the printer as well.
Right, the votes, in addition to the votes being on the printouts, there's also a copy of the votes stored on the eSlate, and the votes are also stored on the JBC, the controller unit, as well as what's called the MBB. That's the card which holds the ballot and the cast vote records.
So let's pull this out just for a second so people can see. This is eSlate itself, and voters would see this when they come into the booth. When they go through their selections and they voted for their candidate in the 72nd election, the printer will print and display their selections, what was on the screen.
Correct.
So your point about where the votes are stored are good, but also let's talk about the paper as well.
Yeah, like we said, every vote is printed on the paper, and before your vote is cast, you have to verify that what matches on the paper matches on the eSlate. And once you press that button that says, yes, I verify that this is correct, then it's printed, the ballot is accepted and printed on the paper, and the vote is recorded on the eSlate, the JBC, and the MBB.
So voters that would see this in the voting booth need to be aware they're not going to be able to take anything with them because this is an official ballot. So this stays with the voting booth. At the end of the night, the poll workers take this out and send it back to us under the guard of the Sheriff's Department. And just one other quick reminder, voters would also see seals on these printers so that they know it has been tampered with.
Correct. When the equipment goes out, the serial numbers on the seals are with a document that the poll workers verify throughout the day, showing that the seals are intact and that they match the same numbers that were sent originally.
Good. So remember, less than 2 months to go until the 72nd election. Continue to stay tuned to this blog for more information. Thanks again.